Well, hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. Really do appreciate your time. Tonight, we are talking about the Tepe case, Spencer and Monique Tepe, that were unalived in Columbus, Ohio, by Monique Tepe's ex. He is a vascular surgeon known as Michael McKee. A lot of stuff is rolling out here, so hang tight. We got a lot to talk about on the other side of this.
I've walked through storms in scars and grace, smile through pain with a painted face. They called me too loud, too much, too strong, but honey, that's the reason I belong. Every scar's a scripture, every tear's a hymn. I found my worth where the light grew dim. They tried to break me, but here's a twist. I turned my pain into a clenched fist. I'm an unbreakable woman, born of fire and pearl. I shine like grace in a reckless world. You can test my faith, you can shake my plan, but I'll rise again. Just watch me I've been whispered about and written off, judged by the gloss, not the cause. But God don't build weak hearts from gold. He made me fierce and he made me bold. I bend, I pray, I roar, I rise with mascara, tears and battle cries. Don't need your crown, I forge my own. From ashes, honey, I build my throne. I'm an unbreakable soul, dressed in truth and pearls. The fire don't scare me, it lights my world. You can doubt my voice, but you'll hear my name. I'm holy and hood, and I'm done with shame. For everyone called too much, too loud, too real. You're not to anything. You're exactly what power looks like. I'm an unbreakable soul, through the fight and flame. My scars are stories, my strength, my faith. Faith in my heart, fire in my curls, forever divine. Clutch them pearls.
Well, hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. Really do appreciate your time. You could have chosen to be anywhere on YouTube. You have a lot of options anywhere on the internet, anywhere in the world, and you chose to be right here. I know your time is very valuable, and I do appreciate you spending some time with me. Today is January 13th, 2026. It is currently 8:19 p.m. on the East Coast of the United States. Hey everyone, so good to see you guys. I missed you guys so much yesterday. I was so planning on going live around the court time when it came to this case, but my little monkey Pearl, she kind of broke my charger, and I went to umpteen places to try to find a charger, and that was just not happening. So I had one ordered from Amazon, and I got like the fastest shipping possible. And it didn't deliver until about 6:30, 7 o'clock tonight. So we are here. We're here. Thank you all so much for joining me. A lot's going on in this case. Let me say hello to a few of you guys before we get started. If you don't mind, hit that thumbs up button. Would be very, very thankful. And also share the live out. I see you guys have been doing that. Really, really do appreciate that on any of your favorite social media. Grace, good to see you, my darling. How you doing? Darlene, hello. Susie Q, how are you? Sherry Lynn, good to see you. Robin, hello. Connie, good to see you. There's the Daphne Case Files. Good to see you, dear. Dreamcatcher, hello. Lady is always gracious. Teresa, good to see you, my dear. Hey, Miss Kelly, how you doing, girl? Good to see you. Debbie, good to see you, my dear. Carol, good to see you. Yeah, I went live with my phone yesterday. Carol, or I was gonna say Carol gave me a fit. Pearl gave me a fit. She kicked my butt. Robin, good to see you. Tina, Cindy, hello. Anna Banana, Catherine, Lolo, hello, darling. Allison, good to see you. Tina, Remy, everyone, good to see everyone. Thank you all so much for joining me. All right. So, as you know, yesterday, maybe you don't, yesterday, Mr. McKee went he went to court and he pled not guilty on that, which we're going to get to all of that. Also, a former police chief reveals, quote, multitude, end quote, of reasons why the ex-husband allegedly unalived the couple. You know, we just kind of was thinking maybe it was just one, maybe it's just one reason, but nope. This is pretty heavy. Also, let me see here. I think Brian Inton did a bunch of stuff. And one of the neighbors of Michael McKee in Chicago, she says she is shocked of the unaliving charges. She does an interview with Ashley Banfield as well. And as the days and weeks roll on, we're going to learn a lot more about this. However, they are saying, I believe some of the family members are going to be talking about Monique and her ex-husband because they say that this was a very abusive marriage, right? Dolores, missed you. Thank you so much, my dear. Really, really do appreciate it. What did these things do?
For your
There we go.
donation.
Thank you so much, my dear. Really do appreciate you. Good to see you, my love. Thank you. Appreciate that. Where's Joe Neal been? I don't know. I haven't seen him. Hey, Smiley. Good to see you, my dear. I haven't seen Joe in a while. Hope he's okay. Hope he's okay. All right. So we're gonna get into the lighter stuff before we get into the deep dive stuff. Yesterday, Michael McKee was in court and he is supposed to be transferred to Columbus, Ohio. Probably might already be there. Okay, let's look at this right here real quick.
With the investigation into the murders of Spencer and Monique Tepe in Ohio. We, of course, know that Monique's ex-husband, Dr. Michael McKee, a surgeon, has now been charged with the murders. And we are learning that Monique's brother-in-law has now said that the family suspected that Dr. McKee had something to do with the murders. This is what the brother-in-law has now said to NBC News, and also said that Dr. McKee was emotionally abusive when he was in a relationship with Monique when they were married. Remember, they got divorced back in 2017. So it's been almost 8.
Doesn't he? I mean, think about this. He looks emotionally abusive. He's just got this sour look on his face. it's unreal. Just this really ugh, look.
8 years. This doesn't come as a huge surprise based on some of the other things that we've heard, but he's now officially saying that. Also, new Fox Digital is reporting that Dr. McKee had a rough patch when he was living in Nevada. I had seen when I was doing a background check on him
Yes.
that he lived in California, but he also lived in Nevada, was working as a surgeon in Nevada after his fellowship, vascular surgeon. And apparently, there's a lawsuit that I also found. Well, there's now someone not giving their name, but speaking to Fox Digital, who says that mistakes were made when he was a surgeon there, that's what that lawsuit has to do with. That person saying they were surprised that Dr. McKee was allowed to do some of these complex surgeries despite mistakes that were made. So
Isn't that frightening? Isn't that frightening that, he made mistakes? And listen, human error can happen. Yes, and it's not uncommon for a doctor to be sued, even great doctors. But he should not have been doing, surgery, you would think. That's quite scary because, doctors, they need to be in the best form of mind. If they're not in the right mind, oh my God, they can really damage you.
So apparently, his time in Nevada, there were issues. Remember, he never got remarried after Monique. They were divorced about 8 years ago. And apparently, now from the brother in law, we're learning that he was emotionally abusive, according to that family. So I'll keep you guys posted with the latest. I expect we're going to learn more soon. He's going to be extradited from Illinois, where he was arrested, back to Ohio. So I'll keep you guys in the loop. All right, bye. Hey guys, so some updates
Yeah, so,
with the
wanted to
investigation into the murders of Spencer.
Yeah, I mean, that's really, really terrifying to me. Just this dude doing surgery on you. Seems like wherever he went, there was trouble. Um, I really believe, I was speaking to someone earlier. I really believe that a lot of it has to do with how he was, maybe how he grew up or something. Um, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. New article out by People Magazine. Look at these two. They're so cute together. Employer of surgeon charged with unaliving ex-wife and her dentist husband breaks silence. Okay, so Michael David McKee, the man arrested of unaliving his ex-wife and her husband, is facing aggravated charges. McKee, based in Illinois, was married to Monique for nearly 2 years. He wasn't married nearly 2 years. Were they married 2 years? Hold on, I thought they were just married like 7 months. Hold on. How long were McKee and Monique married? Um, they were married. Okay, yeah, August 15th. They were married August 15th. It took 2 years to finalize, is what it is. And divorced in 2017. But the couple separating after 8 months of marriage before the divorce was finalized. There we go. That's what it was. Okay. So McKee is a vascular surgeon who was employed by OSF St. Anthony Medical Center in at the time of the unalivings. Guys, guess what? Guess what? According to what we are hearing, McKee was in surgery Thursday. Yeah. Yeah. And we're going to get to a lot of that here shortly, but look at this. Hold on. Whoops. Let me see. Whoops. What did I do? Look at this. I think I got a screenshot of it here. And people are saying this, and I'll show you more here. Right here we go. Guys, if you're just rolling in, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Would greatly, greatly appreciate that. All right, come on. Here we go. Rob, he's going to be on supposedly NBC tonight, confirming the family suspected McKee from the beginning as it was an abusive relationship and that he threatened Monique's life on more than one occasion. So the questions are definitive now. That's not exactly the one I was getting to. It might be on down here. Okay. Well, anyway, they are saying that he might have been in surgery, from what I'm understanding, Thursday. And let's see here. December, they were unalived on a Wednesday, and he was in surgery the next day. Yeah. So allegedly, this man drove there 5 some hours or whatever, right? Drove there, allegedly committed the crimes, drove back. You know, he didn't sleep worth the fuck that night, even if he slept at all, and went into surgery. Yep. Yep. Rajui. Yep. Mm-hmm. Hey, Lakeside. Susan, good to see you. Brandy and Indy Scorpio. Mallory, good to see you. Dreamcatcher. The Hospital of Employees, Monique Tepe's ex-husband, has issued a statement following his arrest in connection with the unalivings of Monique and her husband, Spencer Tepe. Michael David McKee, 39, was arrested over the weekend on unaliving charges days after Monique, 39, and Spencer, 37, were found slain in their Columbus, Ohio home. McKee was briefly married to Monique in 2015 before she filed for divorce in 2017 per court filings. McKee, a vascular surgeon, was an employee at the OSF St. Anthony Medical Center in Rockford, Illinois, at the time of the unalivings. In a statement to People on Monday, January 13th, that is today, the center of OSF is cooperating with authorities who will provide any further information. The center directed further questions to law enforcement. Monique and Spencer, who met online, got married in 2020 on the morning of December 30th, following several requests for a wellness check from Spencer's co-workers. Police found the couple deceased with pew-pew wounds. Their 2 children, ages 4 and 1, were in the residence, and per police estimate, they were alone for hours with the bodies. They were physically unharmed. McKee has been charged with 2 counts of aggravated unaliving. Per court documents obtained by People, he is initially arrested with unaliving charges, which were upgraded Sunday, January 11th. So, do we got that statement here? I think we got that statement somewhere here. I'll show you that in just a moment. Yeah, I just cannot believe this man went in, did this, and went to freaking surgery the next day. Okay, so this former police officer, chief, says there's probably more than one reason why he did this. I think he is just evil myself, personally. That's just me. I don't know. Maybe I mean, why after so many years? I think maybe he's, you're getting older. He's, I'm the same age as, close to the same age as them. We're at midlife, and he doesn't have really anything to show for. I mean, yeah, he's got his degree, but people were saying he probably shouldn't have been doing surgery to begin with. I think he wanted, the career, the wife, the children, the house, the 2.5 children and a white picket fence life. I also believe, oh yeah, his career's days are done. Done. It just
There's just
amazing to me. All right, so we're gonna go to Fox News Digital. I think Fox News Digital, maybe. FoxNews.com here, and listen to what former police chief outlines possible motives in ex-husband. Listen to this.
just a multitude of reasons. I think what's going to be critical for the investigators is a lot of the online search capacity, are there any recent chats? Were there any changes in the suspect's demeanor in the last few months, last few years that could start delineating some type of frustration, revenge, outrage, jealousy, depression, anything? But usually the long standing separation from the relationship, something had to trigger the thought, the planning, and then the
Bingo.
actual act of this murder.
Yes. Something had to, like, he could have detested, right? He could have absolutely detested Monique and Spencer, but going for years without unaliving is one thing, right? You can detest somebody, even hate them, but not plan, drive, hours, execute the plan, and try to cover up your tracks. There had to be a switch. What was that switch? Was it something about the court? Was it that he tried to get in contact with Monique? Did he have some words with Spencer? Something brought up this. He did reopen the divorce papers. Yeah, but there has to be, again, it's very extraordinarily rare for someone to just be mad at something that happened 6 years ago and let it go that entire time, and then randomly act out. Almost always, 99.9% of the time, there has to be a trigger, right? I still wanna know how he got in So Sad, So Insane. Yeah, yeah, we're gonna have to figure that one out, hopefully, which law enforcement will hopefully know, prosecutors and all that. We'll see.
What that trigger was is going to be very, very lengthy in the investigative process. But usually it's an instance or an incident that triggered it outside of like a mental illness or something that, triggered their brain there. I've seen these sometimes in cases before. Sometimes it's relative to financial strain, financial hardship, or something that the divorce was causing.
Right.
This does not look like it would be the case here, but investigators are going to have a lot of digging to find out potential motive other than just an ex-husband or jealousy. With the long-standing separation, not just in the relationship, but the finalization of the divorce, something recently triggered this. Now, it could be the recent holidays, it could be depression, it could be something, and I couldn't see in any of the articles.
Yeah, that's a good point as well, right? Sometimes the holidays bring up those feelings. You kind of think back to your family or your life with the holidays or a year-end review kind of thing, what you want your 2026 to look like. It could be something like that, but I suspect it had to be something else. Yeah, he never remarried. Mm. I don't know, and this is the thing. Doctors, uh, there is people lined up waiting to date doctors, right? They're not, uh people will marry doctors. It's just the way it is. And he never remarried, right? So it kinda makes you think he had to be a real piece of garbage to, do something like this. You know what I mean? For no one to just stick it out with him or whatever. Like, you had to be a real piece of work. Hey, Liz, good to see you. Thank you so much, my dear. Really, really do appreciate that. I've got some new um thingies here that I'm gonna play. Um, I don't know which ones to play. Let's see here. Is that the one? I don't think that's the one. Thank you so much, Liz. I appreciate you. I'm Liz. Hi, Justin. You and your site and all the Pearl family. I missed you. I didn't see you late last night or today and was worried about you. Oh, thank you so much, honey. I appreciate that, Liz. Thank you so much for your support, my dear. Very kind of you. And again, thank you so much for your support. Means a lot. Truly does. Appreciate that. Was he off work, just a normal work day, or was it um I think he was probably off, I would think. Did he I wonder if he requested that day off in advance. Did he tell him he needed to have time anyway? So I there you know, Fox Digital, they're reporting that he had a certain what they call a rough patch in Nevada. Was that mental? Was that obviously it was professional, but sometimes you know what you're going over with your personal life bleeds into your professional life. You know, you try to keep those separate, but some people it's really hard.
if they had any children from their marriage. It doesn't appear that they did, but could have possible. With that said, I think it's going to be a recent event that triggered the anger which started this planning. It's not random by any means. There was something that happened, whether it's an episode or an argument or something that motivated this person to plan this and then carry it out.
Yeah, yeah. It's always one thing.
Thank you.
You know, you can
U.S. Sector Border Patrol Chief Chris
one
Clem,
second.
and the
You
author of
can
Why Bad Looks Good.
you can absolutely hate someone even, right? But going out, planning it, driving that far, getting out of your car, right? Going in the yard or jumping over a fence or going to the door. That's big, right? Or entering the keypad number or going through a window, sneaking in while people slept. The safest place they should be while their 1 and 4-year-old baby slept. Think about all of the action, the trouble, if you will, that Michael McKee had to do. That's a lot of energy. Right? That's a lot of energy to do something like that. And that's obviously a seed so deep of hate, of jealousy, of anger, right? It's bad. It's really bad. He's obviously intelligent, but once psyche is distinct from, yeah, yeah, yep. And this is the thing. Professionals are professionals at work, right? That's what they have been taught, trained to do. But I promise you, uh, doctors, any professional that we might look up to as a society, they are just as irrational with love or anything else, just as irrational as all of us when we're like, that. So, yes, it's something. Um, I would really like to get. I hope they release some more uh paperwork soon on him. Now we're gonna go to Ashley Banfield, um, from I think it's News Nation. She did it on another channel. Yeah, News Nation. Michael McKee's neighbor discusses the shock about her neighbor because it seemingly Michael does not have a big family, right? We was kind of looking into that the other day, and he's from Zanesville, Ohio. Um, Supposedly, from what we understand, adopted or something of that effect. Okay. Credit's going to go to our friends News Nation. Koberger vibes. Yeah, in a sense, yeah. You know what? The feeling I get, right? The feeling I get with this is I feel like he has the same um what's the word, like how he is in front of like people, his peers, that he is what's the word I'm looking for? I can't think. It's on the, I'll think of it in a second, but that's the feeling I get, that he's like antisocial. He wants to be social, I feel like, or he wants to fit in. That's just the feeling I get, but he can't. God, it's right here on the end of my tongue. There's a word for it. I'll think of it in a second. Jekyll and Hyde. Yeah, no, not what. It's like the guys that don't have incel. Incel. There we go. Sorry, I remembered it. Kind of like an incel, like meaning I really think probably all he wanted was a relationship, kids, and all of that, but he just doesn't know how to get it. Very much like Koberger. We'll see. Here we go.
To hearing that this neighbor of yours, who you'd spoken with and thought was delightful, has been arrested on 2 aggravated murders.
Yeah, it's really was a shock to the building and everything, because I met him really once. We really talked at the poolside, and that was during the summer, shortly after he moved in. And we talked at the pool, and he was very friendly. We were all barbecuing at that time, and he did not seem like somebody that would be doing something like this. But like Ashley, like you point out, you don't know what is in a person's mind, what they're obsessing about, and what they're going through in their mind, and what causes them to react like this. But I would see him, and we would pass each other. I saw him last week, too, going by, And, we would just say, hi, how are you? Hi. And that's it. We never really spoke after that. He was kind of a quiet person to himself. But, it is shocking that a resident of this building was charged with such a terrible crime. And residents
I
here
can't
are
imagine.
concerned.
Can I ask you how did you all even find out? Like how did the news sort of spread through the building?
Well, I found out because there was Channel 7 crew that was outside there of our building trying to talk to residents. And I walked up to them because I used to work at Channel 7 in Chicago. I was assignment editor. And I said, what's happening over here? What's going on? The doorman says you wanted to talk with me. And they told me about what was happening. And when they said Mike McKee, I said, well, I don't know if I know him. Show me a picture. And then they showed me the picture. And I went, oh my gosh, I know him. He's one of my neighbors. He lives two stories above me in the building here. And I said, why? My goodness, it was unbelievable that this man he was just so nice when I talked to him. And then, as I said, we would pass each other. This is a building of a lot of professional people, okay? And people that come in.
Speaking of that, I want to let, sorry to interrupt, Geraldine, sorry to interrupt, but I want to let our viewers know that when you say it's a building of professional people, that includes you. Not only did you work at Channel 7 as an assignment editor, you're also a true crime author. So tell the audience what you did.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine? She's a true crime author. The next book is going to be called, I'm sure, The Killer in My Building. God. The Doctor Killer in My Building. Yeah. Oh my God, that's crazy. Nana rocks 3 months, girl. How you doing? Appreciate you very, very much. Let's see here. Good to see you, Nana Rocks. Really do appreciate that very much. I've been in the Pearl family for 3 months now. Thank you, Nana. Appreciate that very, very much. Thank you for your continued support, my love. Good to see you. Yes, the doctor upstairs. Oui, collé. I don't know. It just makes it so much more creepier whenever a doctor does something, because the motto for a doctor is do no harm. When you take your oath, it's do no harm. Right? Maybe that's what the book should be called. Do no harm. And then underneath the subtitle, the doctor upstairs.
Floors up where he lived and what you saw.
Well, I went upstairs and I saw a police officer sitting right in front of his door, guarding his place there. And I took a little video. I guess it's the newswoman in me. And I also took a picture of what his apartment looked like from the outside. And I just was surprised that there's a police officer on duty there 24 hours. And then I came up the next day and there, Lord and behold, I saw that there were now
I'm going to buy it.
there. And I went to get my car in the garage and there was an investigation van saying Crime Lab from Columbus. So that is something else that I videotaped right away. And the investigators going to the van. And when I went upstairs, I saw that they were taking boxes of stuff out of there and putting it in there. They had one box and they were putting stuff in there. You know what? It's a very circumstantial evidence thing. You have the digital stuff and so on, but you don't have the firing gun. You know what I mean? That's something that they're looking for. And I'm sure that they're also looking for any messages he had or drawings and things like that.
We're about to do a deep dive with investigators who do this for a living, who are going to run down the list of everything they probably looked for in that apartment and seized, as well as other places as well. But I'd like to just ask you in retrospect, we all look back at things and people.
What do y'all think he did with the pew pew? What do y'all think he did with the pew pew? I think it's possible that he could have stopped at like a gas station or somewhere, threw it in a dumpster. Um, he could have chucked it in a river or a creek. Lake Michigan. Yeah. Because remember, Lake Michigan is literally, and when I say literally, I mean literally outside of his door. So even but like when he got back to the house, he could have just went over there and clocked it, right? In a field in Indiana. Mm, right. Don't know if it'll be recovered. Hopefully. But you know what they are going to do? As long as the computer has not overwritten on his vehicle, because it does that, they are going to see where he stopped. Now, he could have been driving and chucked it, right? And that wouldn't give you any information. But if there's DNA on the shell casings, yeah, anything of that. This could be a completely digital case, but I think they have overwhelming evidence as far as that's concerned. Right. Hey, Miss Kelly. Thank you so much, my dear. Really, really do appreciate that. I've never it. And if you appreciate it, thank you for all guests and programs. Oh, we love you, Kelly. Thank you so much for your continued support, my dear. Really, really do appreciate you, my love. Thank you. You're always a
Something that's
pleasure.
jarring, and then we think, okay, that now in retrospect, it's unusual. Was there anything about Dr. Michael McKee that was the least bit unusual or struck you as unusual in retrospect?
No, nothing
But they got the
struck me as
phones.
being unusual. He was a business person coming in. We'd pass in the hallway. We'd be in the elevator, and I'd say hi, and he'd say hi. We were all tired from working and everything like that. But you know, the building put out a memo to all the residents, and this is a memo, and it says, "Good afternoon, residents. Due to an active police investigation involving a resident, you may see and encounter law enforcement officials in and around the building over the next few days." Now, that is what alarmed a lot of residents.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and
Okay.
download our News
So
Nation app.
there we go. I think that's a very, very interesting email, if you ask me. Or not email. Sorry, I was reading up. Someone said they sent an email. That's a very interesting interview about this. And she's just happens to be, she's a reporter and a true crime writer, which is very, very interesting. Okay, I got you. Just checking your email right now, my dear. Okay. All right, let me read this. This is someone writes, I've been digging deeply into court records to find out more details about malpractice lawsuits that Monique Tepe's ex-husband was deeply embroiled in. I find it quite interesting that there's a entry, yes, dated 2025, yes. Yep, we found that the other day. Notice of change of firm name. The last day of Spencer and Monique Tepe's. Really? I did not know that. This is written from Plunder. Look at this. Yeah, there was a few entries in 2025. Huh. I've been digging into the court records to find out more details about malpractice lawsuit that Monique Tepe's ex-husband was deeply embroiled in. I find it quite interesting that there's a data entry 12/30/2025. Notice of change of firm name, the same day of Spencer and Monique Tepe's murders. I found this on January 6th. Entry fascinating. Order granting plaintiff's motion to serve defendant Michael David McKee, MD, individually by publication and to enlarge time of process, service of process on order shortening time. Apparently, the doctors who are defendants in the lawsuit were initially listed as John Doe MD, but that all changed. Now all the doctors are listed, and it's all these, and obviously Michael David McKee was there. Was Dr. McKee angry that his name was made public in regards to this lawsuit? Question mark. Did Michael McKee believe he would lose the lawsuit? Huh. And this is the malpractice. Initial appearance, fees disclosure 5/17/2024. Demand of jury 2024. But yeah, I've got that, all this stuff. But the thing about it is, why I don't think this is going to make him unalive. I don't think his lawsuit is going to make him unalive Monique, right? It's something different. It's got to be something more than that, if you ask me. It has to be. It has to be some type of trigger. Look at this picture of him. Ugh. He gives me just like this weird feeling. I don't know. He looks angry. Very, very angry. They got a good picture of it. Check this out. Did y'all see this photo of him? Yes, 3 bullet casings. Yes. If he was being investigated internally at his hospital, that could affect his privileges. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yes, very much so. Right. So Michael McKee is coming back to Ohio in the deaths of Monique and Spencer Tepe. I believe it's sometimes this week, as they upgraded the charges with with premeditated. This was him in court the other day. Maybe. Hold on one second. Why is it not? Do it like this then.
All in favor of Michael McKee?
Alexander, third quarter, the defendant is present in custody.
Your name, sir, for the record? Michael McKee. Have you had a chance to speak with him?
Yes, Your Honor.
What's your position at this time?
Yes, at this time, Your Honor, on behalf of Mr. McKee.
He's a big dude. Like he is a big dude. 6'1", but like he's very broad shoulder.
Assert his right to counsel. I will assert his right to remain silent. And Mr. McKee believes that the most expeditious manner
This week
in which
sometimes.
he may defend himself against the charges pending in Ohio and to plead not guilty would be to waive his right to an extradition hearing and to have a governor's warrant and to agree to his immediate transportation to Ohio.
Understood, thank you. We will set this matter then for 2 o'clock on Monday for status on the transfer.
Thank you.
Anything else we can do today?
Not
Isn't it amazing? You can go from a doctor, right? A doctor to being in that uniform with chains on. Winnebago County. These scrub looking things. They suspected he was on steroids. He does look like he's got this muscular steroid look, in my opinion. But he could, when people, it doesn't matter if it's doctors or who, but when people have mental illness, many times they self-medicate, even doctors. Well, you see, he used to be more chiseled. He had a more chiseled look, and he's aged quite a lot.
Thanks, everyone.
He's 39. So that was yesterday. That was yesterday with all of that. He's supposed to be back in Ohio, I believe, sometimes this week. I don't know if it says when, but they just said sometimes this week. Aggravated unaliving is more serious charge than regular unaliving. In Ohio, unaliving is punishable by 15 years in prison. The aggravated charges, McKee could now face a maximum sentence of life in prison with no possibility of parole. He could also face the death penalty, although Ohio has not carried out an execution since 2018. Premeditated is one of several aggravated circumstances that can justify an aggravated unaliving charge. To legally qualify the unaliver, the killer, must commit the murder with, quote, pre-calculation and design. McKee, Monique Tepe's ex-husband, is charged in the December 30th deaths of Monique Tepe and Spencer Tepe. The couple was found obviously dead in their home in the morning by the friends after Spencer, a dentist at the Athens dental practice, failed to show up for work. So, yeah, very, very bad. But yeah, it doesn't say, but I'm pretty sure that he's supposed to be back in the Ohio sometimes this week. If I remember correctly. McKee was okay. That's the same one. I was going to check. Okay. All right. Now let's go to WBNS. WBNS. Guys, if you're just joining us, please do me a favor. Hit that thumbs up button. We greatly appreciate that.
Illinois, where Dr. Michael McKee was taken into custody, charged with murder for Spencer and Monique Tepe on December 30th. Now, McKee is Monique's ex-husband, and Columbus police say he was spotted outside the Tepe residence between the hours of 2 and 5 when they say the homicides happened. They also say he was spotted getting into that same car, and then they found that car here in Rockford, Illinois, where Dr. McKee works. Now, right now, he is charged with 2 counts of murder. The hearing is to decide, it's called an extradition hearing, to decide when he will be brought back to Columbus, Ohio, to face those 2 counts of murder. We are in
Okay,
Rockford,
so-
Illinois. We're
Okay, here we go. So look at this. Check this out. This is what I was wanting to show you earlier. He was allegedly, again, the unalivings happened on a Wednesday, December 30th, right? He was performing surgery Thursday. Yes, he was scary. He worked on a family friend on the 31st. That blows my mind. That blows my mind, y'all. I don't know. Like, does that blow your mind? Someone write this. I live in Columbus. A friend that works for Columbus PD said that she was downstairs. Don't quote me on this. Yeah, they were unalived on Wednesday. And from what I understand, he had a surgery Thursday. It's just so, like, you think about it, like, McKee's hands, Michael McKee's hands, they, a doctor's hands are to fix people, to heal people, right? But those hands that was supposedly fixing and helping to heal whatever person on Thursday, those hands had just taken 2 lives Wednesday, allegedly. He's a damn robot, Alafadi says. To be able to turn off and turn on like that, to kill and then to go work on a patient the next day. Yep. That's really creepy to me. Like, I just cannot get over that. Just can't. It blows my mind. It just blows my mind. Can't help it. Okay. Is that really him as a kid? And then he definitely had his ears pinned. Someone put this on Facebook earlier. Let me see here. I don't know if it's him or not. To me, it doesn't look like him, but look at this. Can you imagine that patient? Michael David McKee. Activities: football 9 through 12th, basketball 9 through 11th grade, student council 9 through 12th grade, key club 10 through 12th grade, NHS 11th through 12th grade, interest: football, basketball, cards, outdoors, books, movies, and music. Memory: playing football in November. Page sponsored by Bloomer Candy. Someone wrote, if that's really him as a kid, then he definitely had those ears pinned. Maybe that's why they sit lower on his head, than his eyes. But some of the other pics, totally different ear. Close to the head, and the outer edge is totally different. That's the surefire way to ID someone who looks as completely changed. I mean, it's a Michael David McKee. My phone likes to say whatever it wants when I take. It's honestly doesn't surprise me. These surgeons have learned how to turn off and turn on, how to focus only on what's in front of them, and they have to be like that with these surgeries. You know what I mean? So, thought that's interesting. Okay. Here we go. We're going to go to Fox again. This is another interview with the lady. Yeah, he was adopted, yes. This is another interview with the lady that the author.
The Illinois surgeon accused of killing
Here
his
we go,
ex-wife and
anyway.
her dentist husband is awaiting extradition to Ohio after his first court appearance yesterday. Michael McKee is facing 2 counts of aggravated premeditated murder after upgraded charges were filed by Columbus police, and he now faces life behind bars. While McKee decided to stay silent during his hearing yesterday, his attorney revealed how his client plans to proceed.
I don't think there's going to be this interview, this interrogation. I think he's way too intelligent for that. He's just going to say attorney, and that's it.
Mr. McKee believes that the most expeditious manner
He
in
has an
which he
attorney
may
here.
defend himself against the charges pending in Ohio and to plead not guilty would be to waive his right to an extradition hearing and to have a governor's warrant and to agree to his immediate transportation to Ohio.
Our next guest is one of Michael McKee's neighbors who is now speaking out
Here
about
we
the
go. Look at
shocking
this.
tragedy. Geraldine Kalarick joins me now. Geraldine, thank you so much for joining us. I mean, you know this man.
Thank you, Carly, for having me. Thank you for
We're glad
having
to
me.
have you. Yeah, so that you
This old lady, she talks over people. She loves to talk over.
could share your perspective with us on this person who you know. He's your neighbor. What went through your mind when you first found out about his arrest?
I was shocked because this is a man that I met at the pool in my building. We barbecued together, and I really had no idea that this person would be the one who would be committing such a crime. It really shocked me, and it shocked a lot of the neighbors here in the building. And the building also sent out a message.
You know who she reminds me of? You know who she reminds me of for the older people in here? She not sounding, but her looks. She reminds me of Carol Channing. Does anyone know who Carol Channing is?
All of us who live here, that there's going to be police presence. And there was, and not to worry about anything. And I went upstairs. I'm a journalist. So I went upstairs and I saw that there was a police officer guarding his door, sitting right there in front of it. And then I went up the next day after on Monday, and I went to see, and there was police from Ohio up there and a crime unit, a big crime unit in our garage there at the pier.
Well, police were able to link him to the crime scene because of his car. They say that his car was there before the murders and then left shortly thereafter. Of course, we have to let the trial play out before we reach any solid conclusions on guilt or innocence. But from your interactions with him, what is his personality like? What can you tell us about?
Carol Channing, she did the Broadway. She was like a Broadway. Well, hello, Dolly. Well, hello, Manny. It's so nice to be
Who you
back.
thought he was as a person?
He was a very pleasant person. As I says, I only really talked to him once. And then we would pass each other in the hallway or going into the elevator, and I'd say hello and he'd say hello. Matter of fact, I forgot his name.
Kind of sounds like her now.
From ABC showed me his picture. I says, I want to see his picture. And I says, oh my gosh, I know this man. And it really amazed me because he was a very quiet person, but very nice, you know, and nothing to suspect that this man would have such rage.
Hello, Miss Sonia Allen. So nice to see you, girl. How are you? In my opinion, the weapon is in Mirror Lake. There would have been no witnesses as school is out. Where is Mirror Lake? I'm going to look that up where Mirror Lake is. I don't know where Mirror Lake is, but I guess there's a school close to it. Maybe. The Quiet Killer. Where's it at, Sonia? Can you write it in chat? OSU library. I think it's what you mean. Thank you so much, Miss Sonia, for your support, my dear. And thank you also for being a member. You're a legend, girl.
But of course, Carly, you know, people get really obsessed in everything, especially in relationships involving love and exes and so on. And something drove this man to that. Something drove him, even though it was almost 10 years since the incident. And you know what? It's maybe something on social media. Maybe he saw something on her page, her Facebook page, or her husband's Facebook page.
I think, I swear, I say it and I say it all the time. I think that wedding video, the vows, triggered him as well.
I can't believe that he did something like this. And I know that the police are in his apartment and they're looking for a lot of clues. You know, maybe his shoes have something, some imprint on the snow or something like that, that he was outside.
Yes.
There.
Okay.
Maybe
listen to
there's
that.
some imprint on their carpet or something.
So I was thinking about this. Now, you remember it was cold. There was snow on the ground, right? There was snow on the ground. This person's shoes, will they walk anywhere outside, they're going to get snow on them or water, right? What happens if you walk straight inside? It's going to track. It's going to track. And I'm wondering if they found any sort of shoe prints. I think it didn't help. Yeah, I think it could very well be. He picked the lock to get in. He could have. Absolutely. Scorpio, you're a legend, girl. Thank you so much, my dear. Really, really do appreciate you, my love. Thank you so much for your super sticker, darling. Let's see here.
I can smell a legend.
Legend, girl. Love you, darling. Thank you so much for your support. Not to mention whatever de-icing material is around will leave traces, evidence on the shoes. Yeah, so will like salt. I don't know. You know, think about this for my cold climate people like me. If you walk in like salt or when it's like snowing outside or whatever, and you come inside, it'll track. And when it dries kind of like a white color, if you will. Oh, he got in somehow. He thought this through. He definitely thought this through. I can't wait to see what his search was on his computers. Can't wait for that.
Really going through his apartment, and I saw them taking things and putting clothes and things into boxes.
Wow.
And taking that away. They were here for 2 days from Columbus, Ohio.
And he's a surgeon dedicating his life to saving lives. And if found guilty, could you imagine living with that level of hatred?
Do you have an extra bedroom, Scorpio?
Hatred for so many years, and now 2 babies don't have loving parents as a result. Geraldine, we wanted to have you on because you have a very interesting perspective, and we thank you so much for sharing that with us this morning. Geraldine,
and you know what? The real victims are the children on this whole thing here. And it's really horrible thinking somebody who went through all this education.
They are
victims.
victims.
To become a doctor, to give up his life to something like this. It's a shame. It's a shame.
Oh, Sherry.
We should all maybe say a little prayer for him too, as well as for the children, because this is a horrible thing. It's going to affect a lot of people. Yeah. Especially the children. They are the true victims of this.
Absolutely. And we pray that they have a strong support system. And they were found in that house crying when police arrived, not knowing, what happened, but I'm sure they just knew that something was wrong, and something certainly was. It's a horrific tragedy. Geraldine, thank you so much for joining us.
I can't imagine a child not knowing their mom and dad are there one day and then never seeing them again. Thank you so much, Carly.
Geraldine, thank you. We appreciate it. We'll have you back on to talk more about this as the story
Okay.
progresses.
So that was Fox. They did, I want to show you guys a document here in a second though, but coming out just a little bit ago on TV 10 WBNS, 10 WBNS, they are talking more about when he's going to be brought back. So let's get to this and see if they. I think it's sometimes later this week, if I recall correctly. Let's get to it. Thank you guys for joining us.
Hoping to bring
Make sure you hit the thumbs up,
39-year-old
please.
Michael McKee back to Columbus to face aggravated murder charges. Thanks for joining us. I'm Stacia Nucken.
And I'm Jeff Hogan. McKee is the ex-husband of Monique Tepe, accused of shooting and killing her and her husband, Spencer, inside their Weinland Park home. McKee faced a judge in Rockford, Illinois yesterday. That's where he was arrested over the weekend. His hands and feet were shackled. McKee's public defender says his best manner of defense is to come to Columbus.
10 TV's Lacey Crisp leads us off once again from Weinland Park tonight. She is live with new details on McKee's extradition to Columbus. Lacey, what have you learned?
Yeah, the big question now, when will McKee be here in Ohio to face the charges of premeditated aggravated murder? Well, I'm told Columbus police are working on that right now. On Monday, Michael McKee walked into a Winnebago County, Illinois courtroom shackled and emotionless. He is accused of shooting his ex-wife Monique and her husband, Dr. Spencer Tepe, in their home on December 30th. The couple's young children were inside the home at the time, but were not harmed. He waived extradition, meaning he is accepting being brought to Franklin County to face charges.
Very, very good point, Algie. It gives the impression that he had surgery scheduled the next day and why he wouldn't go out of town the day before surgery. Like OJ, he already had a scheduled event the next day. Yeah, OJ committed even though he was not found guilty, in my opinion, he committed the unalivings, went back to his house, had his freaking luggage packed, and got on a plane. So, very good point.
Mr. McKee believes that the most expeditious manner in which he may defend himself against the charges pending in Ohio and to plead not guilty would be to waive his right to an extradition hearing and to have a governor's warrant.
We want to get that suspect back into the county as soon as we can so the detectives can continue their work. Some of the finest detectives in the land. I cannot say that enough.
Fraternal Order of Police President Brian Steele explains Columbus police now have to decide between two different
He looks steroidy
to transport McKee to Franklin County.
Now it's actually, we have to get hands on him and bring him here. That's going to happen one or two ways. CPD has a fugitive recovery unit. These men and women of the Division of Police, they will actually go out and they will take custody of the prisoner and bringing him back.
Hold on, Chaz. That is freaking amazing. Oh my God. I got a new button. Listen to this. It's
Hey, thank you for the love. Thank you for the support. If you got gifted today, then say thank you in the chat. Don't be short. We see you. We mean it. Welcome and you belong. From me to you, thank you so much. All right, let's keep it moving along.
I'll dance to that. Thank you so much, my dear. That's very, very generous of you. Yeah, and what the song said, if you received one of those 20 memberships, give our share a big thank you. Thank you so much, my dear. My butt involuntary shakes anytime you play the trumpet. I don't know. I just picture, I don't even know what you look like, but I just pictured you for whatever reason, just shaking your butt. Thank you so much, my dear. That's very, very generous of you. I really do appreciate that. I had that done just for you guys. Thank you, Summer Breeze. I appreciate you, baby. Very kind. Okay, let's get back to this. You are a legend. You are a legend.
I can smell a legend.
I can smell a legend. What is this one? Oh God, that just busted my eardrums out and probably did yours too. In a relationship, lobster means finding your soulmates. So I'm confused, Deborah. Lobster means finding your soulmate? What about crabs? What about crabs?
That's one way to do it, and that really depends on how far it is, right? What kind of resources do we have? If we don't go that route, the Division of Police, I spoke to the Deputy Chief today, we'll look at option number 2, which we contract with a prisoner service.
That means so much to me, that comment, Summer. Thank you so much. That truly means so much.
Steele says when McKee is brought back depends on which option CPD chooses.
This is a private service that will pick up prisoners and bring them to whatever different jurisdictions they're extradited to. It's my understanding that's the Chief of Police's decision, and she'll make that decision today.
What's the timeline?
So obviously the Division of Police, the detectives, the prosecutor's office, they want him right now. Like hopefully he's on the road right now. But obviously there's some coordination to do. You're talking about different agencies, and especially if you're going to talk about a private company, what's their schedule?
So the judge in Winnebago County, Illinois, set a hearing date for Monday. That hearing date will make sure that McKee is already here in Ohio, or that a plan is in place to bring him here. Reporting live, Lacey Chris, 10 TV News.
The Detroit yeah, so they're gonna bring him around. Guys, look at their marriage license, by the way. Here is where they applied for their marriage license, Monique and Michael. Spencer rather, and Monique. They applied on 12/10/20. 12/10/20, and it was certified on 12/17/20. And the ceremony date was 12. It says it wasn't the ceremony date, I don't think, because you have, I think, it depends on the state. I think here you have 60 days where I'm at, but they got married in January, actually. But, they want to know your ceremony date, which it's not required that ceremony date happen that day. But just so you guys can look at that. Does this bring up a motive in your opinion? Smart as well as athletic. He played football all 4 years of high school and basketball for 3, active in clubs and student council, and graduated high school with academic and athletic honors. Really? Robin, her Sil is also pregnant. So 2 new babies are coming this summer. A boy and a girl. Aw. So do you think because they were, they applied for their, I truly believe that this guy searched everything. I think it was an obsession for him. Sometimes when we are stressed in our lives, right, we can go down a rabbit hole. It's a death spiral, so to say, and perhaps fixate on something to alleviate our stress from something else. I'm not saying that's what happened, because we truly don't know at this point. Motive, I think, was unaliving himself and planned to take them along too. I don't think so. I think he's too much of a narcissist for that, personally. But we shall see. We shall see. Doctors charged in killing of his ex-wife and other Ohio husband waives rights to extradition. Yes, we got that one. let's see here. Someone says, quote, I think what's going to be critical, this was in the Fox News article, what I think is going to be critical for the investigators is a lot of the online search capacity. A lot. Are there any recent chats? What did I tell you guys the other day? I want to know if he, meaning Michael, did he try to get in touch with Spencer? Did he try to get in touch with Monique? Or did he try to get in touch with those around them? Many times they won't get in direct communication with them. Sometimes they will, but many times they'll try to get in communication with those around them. And that person around them would tell like Monique or Spencer. And Monique or Spencer could be like, message him, call him, whatever, and be like, stop it. Leave us alone. Anything like that is possible. But I think this guy dug deep. Were there any changes in the suspect's demeanor in the last few months, last few years that could start some type of frustration, revenge, outrage, jealousy, depression, anything, but usually the long-standing separation from a relationship, something had to trigger. And I absolutely agree with that. Something had to trigger this guy. Okay. AB6 on your side. They spoke to, I believe it was a homicide investigator. And they talked about some of the things that they're going to look for as far as evidence. Now, again, the only thing that we know of that they have at this point is casings, right? And as far as physical, that's all we know as far as physical, because they don't have the pew-pew right now. Justin, I believe he went to Ohio outside their home many times. Faye, I think that is highly, highly possible. And again, think of Koberger, right? What did he do? He drove there back to the victims' homes so many times and would just sit out there and watch. Is that something that Michael McKee did in this case? It's very possible. It's not even possible. It's probable, in my opinion, that he would he may have just drove by a lot, right? Or frequently. I do believe that he probably told coworkers or whatever, people around him when he was going out of town on the 30th, that perhaps he was going to a New Year's party or an event, or even maybe a late Christmas party or something like that as well. What was that? Apparently Monique remained friends with his college roommates. Yeah, Justin, it wouldn't surprise me if he was in town for days, staying at a hotel prior to. I don't think he was in town very long, from what I'm understanding, but he obviously left right after the murders. So there's that.
It's gunshot residue, anything placing him inside the residence at the time of the killings.
Defense attorney Brad Koffel discussing a lot of the unknowns in the Tepe murder case.
Oh, sorry, I forgot to
he
do
has
this.
not been retained by Michael McKee. The ex-husband of
Oh,
Monique
he's an
Tepe,
attorney.
now locked
Sorry.
up in a Winnebago County jail, accused of killing her and her husband.
Countless bad bumble dates, wrong relationships, and waterfalls of tears.
Our newsroom obtained the divorce file between Monique and Michael McKee.
Hold on, I
It
want to go
states she
back to
was
that
granted
just real quick. I just want to see that, what she says. I want to go back and watch this.
Dates, wrong relationships, and waterfalls of tears.
Our newsroom obtained the divorce file between Monique and Michael McKee. It states she was granted the divorce on grounds the parties were incompatible.
There's a prior
Yes, Yvette.
relationship and divorce.
Yvette, I was reporting on that the other day. And she absolutely did tell who actually said that was Michael's family member said Monique told the friends, if anything ever happens to me, you know where to look, kind of thing. Which is scary. The family said that they suspected him from jump, which is really, there was just nobody else that would do it. You know what I mean? There was just nobody else that was going to do something like this.
Divorce history and some disputes, but those are not elements of murder.
In fact, Columbus police have not yet released a motive, posting on social media as to not compromise the active and ongoing investigation.
It's a big jump from a doctor in Illinois, surgeon in Illinois, driving across state lines like this to commit double murder and then drive back.
Columbus.
That's a good question. Nancy says, I'm curious why she didn't put that in the court papers. Do you know what she filed? I think you mean why she filed for divorce. She got a special attorney or something like that to expedite the process. They requested something in court, from what I understand. She knew for a reason to still fear him. Absolutely. 1,000% dream catcher. And she did fear him. She did fear him. And apparently rightly so, right? There is talk by the family that Monique said he tried to choke her one time and said, if you ever leave me, he would unalive her. And you got to think, she left while he was gone. The family pulled up in a U-Haul, loaded her stuff in, and left. She got a private judge. That's what it was. Thank you. Thank you for that. I know what you're talking about. That's a good movie. It's an older movie. And that shows you, like, Michael was, I guess, not expecting that. But she knew enough to do this while he was gone.
Police releasing this surveillance video Monday, showing a person in a dark hoodie walking through the alley near the Tepe home between 2 and 5 a.m. The court documents we obtained show the time of the killings as 3:52 a.m. However, CPD has not confirmed if McKee is the person in this video. These court documents read the suspect was traced through a car that arrived just before and left just after the murders. That car linked to McKee. Detectives found it in Rockford, Illinois, and say it was in his possession both before and after their deaths.
Did he confess? Are there any eyewitnesses?
Koffel reminding us the state has to prove McKee is guilty beyond a reasonable doubt.
And then forensic extraction of the cell phone devices. What type of communication was going on with the ex-wife and the suspect?
When you have a high-profile case such as this, does that pose any problems or challenges for the prosecutor's office or these coordinating agencies as they look to bring him back to Ohio?
There's a lot that the public and the prosecutors, and especially the investigators, are going to need to tighten up any unexplained gaps, and then the forensic scene. So I think it's a good exercise for everyone just to pump the brakes here a little bit.
This is going to be a very
DNA or fingerprints.
It's definitely a very high profile case. Sassy 5 months girl, how you doing? Really, really do appreciate you, my dear. Thank you. Thank you, McKee information. Love y'all pearls. Last night was a hoot with Remy. Thank you so much, Sassy. Appreciate you. Where'd you send it, babe? Text or email. Thank you so much for your support, my dear. Really, really do appreciate that. And thank you, Miss Magic Star. A whole year, girl. How you doing? Thank you so much. Really, really do appreciate that. You are now an OG. How you doing, man? Thank you so much. I really do appreciate that very much. But after a year, thankfully, he moved on. Yeah. I know a lot of you guys. Okay, Sassy, thank you. I know a lot of you guys some of you have been through a lot in, previous relationships and stuff. What is this? Oh, this is interesting, Sassy. Let's read this. Okay, someone writes here that they knew him. And let's see what they say. Yes, 26 years. Oh, wow. God bless you. Okay. This says the following. Quote, I knew Michael as well as anyone could. He was my chief resident. He taught me how to operate. He was technically excellent, better than a lot of attendings. We joked he was a robot and would just change his batteries because he was very hard to get any emotional response from. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. We also had a murder mystery party, and he was the murderer. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. We changed his name to Ricky Rochester for that. Roster, sorry. Since we always joked he was a murderer, but it was always a joke at that time, he never seriously dated, and that we knew of while we trained together. He went to Maryland for vascular surgery fellowship. It's a normal for vascular surgery folks to not pursue their general surgery board certificate since they won't use it. That is true. He also just finished vascular not too long ago. It takes about 2 years to get board certified after graduating. I cannot get over that. Oh my God. Guys, he's a fucking robot. And then so we're talking about someone as very matter of fact. He could have been stalking the area and had binoculars to watch for him. He could have been, yes, you just never know. You never know. But guys, what's crazy is like, it's always the quiet ones. Isn't it always the quiet ones? It's so weird. Like Coburger, quiet, very quiet. Okay, bro. Okay. It's always the quiet ones, and that's weird to me. What did I tell you? I think he is kind of like incel, like wasn't dating, wasn't you didn't get an emotion out of him. And I think he gets that from childhood, probably, where he was adopted, right? Because speaking, I mean, I was adopted by my grandmother, right? But it can really affect people that your parents gave up on you, right? That they left, like, why me, or whatever. Some people, it really messes with their head. And from what I understand, his family is not an affectionate family. Like, and every family is different, right? And you might, there's your mom's side of the family, there's your dad's side of the family, and those sides of the families may be very much the same, may be very different. Like, one side of my family, we hug on each other, we kiss on the cheek when we see each other. The other side of my family, we would never do that. That's not the way it works, right? So I'm thinking that he was raised, adopted in a very cold, sterile, not emotional, you know what I mean? Like the way he grew up. I know my ex had it in him to hurt me now, not a stranger, I don't think. Yes, this isn't good for one of his coworkers that knew him well. I wonder if he had a relationship with anyone else after Monique. Lakeside, if he's an incel with no emotions, why did Monique marry him? Seems totally opposite of her second husband. I think, I mean, to be honest with you, it could be because she knew him earlier in life. She was friends with him earlier on in life, and he became very successful. And that could be just plain out the reason. He stopped having contact with his family when he was around 18. Yep. See, I don't think he was like that when she met him. I think she brought him out of his shell. That could be as well. He went into this after she left. I don't know, but something really happened. And then there's me, where I'm super emotional. I don't know where I get it from. Both my parents aren't emotional. Yeah, sometimes we're opposite of, how we were raised, because we needed that or whatever, you know what I mean? So, yeah, that's very, very interesting there, though. This is a very interesting, came out just a little bit ago, and they said he just disappeared. Nevada lawyer tries to track doctor months before Tepe's murder. He just disappeared, meaning Michael McKee. Look at this. Very interesting. Credit goes to ABC6 on your side.
Address that was given to us by the surgery group that he worked for turned out to be a fake address. It was an address that doesn't exist.
A search for a doctor now accused in connection with a high-profile double murder right here in Columbus. All of it months before police say he shot and killed his ex-wife and her new husband. It's exclusive information we're uncovering tonight. We're talking nearly a dozen failed attempts to serve surgeon Michael McKee with a malpractice lawsuit out of Nevada. Good evening, and thanks for joining us tonight at 6. I'm Rodney Dunnigan.
And I'm Isabel Hinson. The attorney who filed that lawsuit says recent attempts led to fake addresses, questionable state-issued phone numbers, and claims that Dr. McKee had...
Like, why is he avoiding this? You know what I mean? Like, is he stressed? I mean, like, I understand, but like, it's not uncommon for doctors to get sued. Good doctors get sued. That's why they have malpractice insurance. I'm like wondering, I'm like, did he have his malpractice insurance up to date or something? Like, what was it?
Had just disappeared. Investigator Lisa Rontola joins us live in studio to break down her findings. Lisa?
Well, months before, police say vascular surgeon Michael McKee killed his ex-wife and her new husband in their Weinland Park home. He was added to a malpractice lawsuit out of Nevada. The lawyer who filed that suit says the normal process to serve Dr. McKee with that suit became very abnormal. In this exclusive interview, Las Vegas lawyer Dan Laird tells me Dr. McKee seemed to have vanished.
Months before walking into
He
a
was on the
Chicago
run,
area
y'all.
courtroom this week, arrested for the Columbus murders of his ex-wife and her new husband.
How serious can these cases be?
They can be very serious.
Vascular surgeon Michael McKee was added to a malpractice lawsuit out of Las Vegas, which claims he failed to train a physician's assistant who injured a patient.
Okay, as a result of the failure, okay, and Michael David McKee to properly train and supervise caused the catheter or device to shear or fracture, leaving an 8.6-inch portion of the device in the plaintiff's body. Ouch. Ouch.
At Las Vegas Surgical Associates LLP in 2023. Las Vegas lawyer Dan Laird filed the case.
Some physicians who are sued for the first time take it very personally and heavily, and it can be devastating.
But Laird can't say how Dr. McKee responded. Since September of last year, McKee was unable to be found.
Dr. McKee almost really became a phantom, a ghost, if you will.
That's what it seemed like.
In this declaration of due diligence filed with Nevada's Clark County District Court, Laird's process server lists at least 9 times of trying to track down Dr. McKee. He said McKee's address provided by the medical group doesn't exist.
There is no such street. There is no such address.
McKee's phone number listed with the Nevada Medical Board led to a fax tone from a fax machine. In October, Laird's team reached out to the other surgeons listed in the case, McKee's former colleagues, for the vascular surgeon's current contact.
What did Dr. Caravellis?
This must have been his first time, Alafade, being sued. That's the only thing I can imagine. Yes, easy. I've kind of thought that too. I'm like, was he adopted from Russia or something? Because again, doctors are sued. That's why malpractice insurance is fucking astronomical. The assist is supposed to count. Yes, instruments. Yes. Yep. I mean, how do you leave 8.6 inches of a device in someone? That's insanity.
He said he has no idea where Dr. Michael McKee is now, said he just disappeared.
Don't they leave some sort of contact?
So they tend to be highly responsible people. They're not the kind of people who just disappear suddenly. And this was very surprising to us.
With more dead ends on social media like Facebook and LinkedIn, Laird tracked McKee to Rockford, Illinois in November. Repeated phone calls were not answered or returned. He did not know McKee's ex-wife Monique Tepe and her new husband Spencer were shot and killed in their Columbus home in December. And McKee...
I mean, I don't think that they're going to put the doctor in prison for a malpractice issue, right? They're not going to put him in prison for a malpractice issue. So
he was charged in both murders this month. I told him that this week.
shocking. If you
He
listed
was
out the
working
people who would likely be
sorry.
to be accused of committing a double homicide, a fully trained vascular surgeon would be at the bottom of my list.
A judge granted the declaration of due diligence in the malpractice case in October. That means McKee can now be served in the malpractice lawsuit with a notice filed in the newspaper. This is only the second time in 12 years. Lawyer Dan Laird tells me he's had to do this. I did try to call the medical group where Dr. McKee worked in Nevada. No one called me back. On your side, I'm investigator Lisa Rontola.
Very interesting reporting right there on that. That just broke just a little bit ago. Uncovered nearly a dozen failed attempts to serve McKee with a lawsuit, which originated in Nevada. The lawsuit filed by Las Vegas lawyer Dan Laird claims McKee failed to train a physician's assistant who injured a patient at Las Vegas Surgical Associates, LLP, in 2023. Laird revealed that attempts to serve McKee to an address that was questionable state-issued phone number. Interestingly, the address that was given to us by the surgery group that he worked for turned out to be a fake address. Laird said, quote, "It was an address that doesn't exist." Now, was this the address that Michael gave them intentionally? Or did could even perhaps the surgery group
gunshot wounds
done something, right?
Time. They are unharmed. We're going to show you exactly what
This
this
was
scene
when
is
this
looking like
happened.
at this
right here.
moment. But police said they were called this morning just before 10 a.m. on a wellness check. When they were able to get inside, they found 2 people dead, at least one having multiple gunshot wounds. And this
8th and 4th. You just don't think that a surgeon like that attorney said, like, that's going to be the last person on your list. You would think, but maybe I'm wrong. So September was a very stressful month for him. Lawsuit and possibly seeing Monique in court in September. Could be. Joe, we was just asking about you. We were so worried. Hopefully you're okay, my friend. Yeah. I've got this one. Oh. And you see, we heard that Monique was only pew-pewed one time, right? But David McKee filed January 11th, 2026, 1:03 p.m. Duly sworn in. The name defendant of Franklin County, Columbus, Ohio, on or about the 30th day of December 2025, did purposely, with prior calculation and design, cause the death of another to Monique Tepe by means of shooting the victim multiple times with a firearm. So it kind of makes me wonder now, after the autopsy, like, did this bullet go through the same hole? It can at times. That is possible. Or was we just given wrong information? You know what I mean? That's very interesting. Okay. And then we've got this. Let me see here. McKee, Michael. Let's look for this. Okay. He's got to right here. Up. Okay, this is where they issued his warrant and stuff. I'm not going to pull these up because last time YouTube got me on that one. They was like, you can't be pulling up these records. So I'm not going to pull them up. But it's very interesting. Okay. There's got to be something more to this. There really does. I still don't understand how that would trigger him, though. Like, I don't get it. I really don't. Okay. Former colleagues at the Ashland Dental office remember Dr. Spencer Tepe. Let me show you this. Show you this right here. Well, you're still going to go to court 9 years later over $1,200. It's about control. It's not about the money, I don't think. My
They
opinion.
want us to know who Spencer and Monique truly were.
WK.
For
I
8
see.
years at Stone Creek Dental Care in Ashland, Julie Radaba and Michelle Clark were greeted by Dr. Spencer Tepe.
Every time he walked in the office, he was always in a good mood and said good morning to everybody. He just had a happy presence about him all the time.
That presence and his signature laugh filled every room.
It was just loud, but it was awesome.
His impact reaching far beyond the office.
He just loved his patients. He really cared about his dentistry.
After working together nearly a decade,
You become more than just coworkers.
closeness showing up in everyday moments, even the silly ones.
You couldn't embarrass him. I mean, there was a time when
So
he was
these are
working
there's pictures of these two ladies with Dr. Tepe. I recognize their faces.
with him over a patient, and accidentally, the water syringe squirted him in the forehead.
He had water dripping. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. He just started laughing.
He just
He's like, oh my God.
Spencer and his beloved wife Monique were building a beautiful life. Julie and Michelle felt lucky to be a part of it.
And Dr. Tepe and Monique, they loved soccer. Both of them played. We actually went to a soccer game.
You're right.
Watched the crew one time with Mo and Dr. Tepe, and just an awesome guy.
Spencer left the office last summer, yet their bond never did.
Just hard not being able to just text him. I mean, he texts us on our birthdays, on our birthday, happy birthday, on the holidays. You know, we kept in contact.
Until the very end.
Probably just like a couple days before even of the incident, he texted us a picture of his family. My comment back to him was just like, you guys look so happy.
Yeah.
Which makes this so hard.
Yesterday, you know, the services was amazing. It was beautiful. And that helped.
Some of his friends spoke. Some of Monique's friends spoke. Everybody's jam-packed into this room, and we were literally, elbow to elbow.
The loss is still sinking in, but they want the world to remember Spencer for who he truly was.
He had a unique way, it seemed, of making whoever he was with feel very special. Really just was a genuinely nice person who just loved life.
Both Julie and Michelle told me Dr. Tepe truly loved his job and his patients. They say he listened, learned about their lives, and genuinely cared. Christy?
The whole thing is just so sad.
Oh, wow. Okay, I just got that. So this is who was it? The uncle? Okay, so this is Michael McKee's uncle's obituary, and it seems like they have quite a bit of family. I wasn't thinking so. But Timothy Wharton McKee, 63, from Zanesville, December 3rd, 2014. He was born January 23rd, 1951. Okay. And where's the family? He was already art, drawing sketches. Tim is survived by a brother, James Mary McKee of Zanesville, nephew, Dr. Michael McKee of Westernville, aunts and uncles, William Mary Warrenton, Betty June Lewis Huck, Miss Ruby McKee, Olive Marietta, Miss Robert Warrenton of in West Virginia, and many cousins. I bet you some of my people know this family. I bet you anything that they say this. Okay. The family would like to think, okay, so there you go. That's interesting. So, a few different aunts and uncles there. Not extremely huge, but there's a few. Yeah, I'm sorry, Joe, you lost your little piggy. Broken in a few seconds. I know. That's the really sad thing about it as well. Let's see here. So did he actually, I think Nancy Grace was talking about this the other day. Did he actually make Monique buy the engagement ring? Is that true? I've heard people talking about it, but I have not actually. Yeah, sometimes it does that. I heard he didn't have the money at the time. Well, I would have just said, I would have just had to say, well, okay, whenever you get the money and you got that. Ooh, what's this? Hold on. What's this? And so many people are talking about. What's this? Okay, gotcha. Columbus. Did y'all hear about the prowler stalking the area of Hard and Sawmill? This is in Columbus right now as well. Y'all see this? Listen to this.
Columbus police are now warning residents to be on alert for what they consider a prowler working to get into people's homes. We are speaking with a professional locksmith about what you should know to protect yourself and your family. Also following any updates that we're learning from Columbus investigators. That story tonight. Columbus police are now warning residents to be on alert for what they consider a prowler working to get into people's homes. We are speaking with a professional locksmith about what you should know to protect yourself and your.
Isn't that crazy? That's going on right now in Columbus. It's big news right now as well. This was, let me see here. What is this? Okay, here we go with this licensing kind of thing. Let me show you this. I know, it's like Columbus sounds bad. It's yeah, it's I was in Cleveland when I had Lyme's and there was this. I was getting ready to go get a spinal tap, and there was this, like down the road, a few miles down the road in Cleveland. I like went to this gas station and I went in and like it was rough. And I'm this little white boy going in and there was like a guard or something and he walked me all around the store. Like he was like, I think he felt sorry for me or something. I was like, hi everyone.
What you've learned about all this, Rochelle.
I mean, my search took me to multiple locations today, and I want to show you guys what I was able to find out.
Leading up to his arrest on January 10th, 39-year-old Michael David McKee was working as a surgeon in Illinois. That's according to Illinois state records. Records show McKee also has an active license in the state of California. It expires in 2026. Monday, 10 Investigates confirmed that between 2014 and 2025, McKee held 3 other medical licenses or certificates in Virginia, Ohio, and Nevada. When it comes to his marriage to Monique Tepe, we were able to confirm that the pair married in 2015 and divorced just 2 years later. Monique Tepe is listed as filing. The reason? They were incompatible. It's a high-profile, high-interest case, and local police are well aware. Last week, before McKee was arrested and charged in the deaths of Monique and her husband Spencer, the Columbus police chief issued this reminder to the community.
We know that people are concerned, and we know that people have a lot of questions. What we're asking for is patience as it relates to this investigation.
And she's not the only one offering reminders to the community at this time. Earlier today, Columbus Mayor Andrew Ginther spoke on the case. He called for prayers for the Tepe family, but he also said he wanted to remind people that despite this heartbreaking crime, the greater community is safe. In the studio, Rochelle Aline, 10 TV News.
The latest on the SEC and the
There's
transfer
something with
portal
that.
and how the
I don't
quarterback
know.
position.
I think we're going to learn a lot more about what's going on with this malpractice and all this. I certainly don't think we've heard the last of it yet. I thought he had filed in Columbus, like, for his license. Is that what you mean? He didn't have a license in Ohio. Yes, he emailed his mom. Then again, when they lived there. Oh. Lisa, are you talking about the ones that pop up on your chat? They're so annoying, those new ones. Michael is still licensed in California and is licensed in Illinois. Yes, he let his Nevada license expire in June 2025, which is around the time he moved to Illinois. Yes, that is correct. Oh, an office. I don't know about that. I don't know if he was planning on getting an office. I know, like he supposedly his assistant wasn't trained. Like, how do you leave? And to be honest with you, like, I know, like, they're supposed to count how many pieces they have and all that, but how does even a surgeon not see over 8 inches of something inside of you? Like, that's huge. Yeah. I don't like those new ads that they put up. I mean, I have the kind where you don't get the commercials, but when I switch over to my other channel, I don't have it on that one, and it pops up all the time. They're very annoying. Did they just say he was licensed in Ohio? He had an office listing in Columbus just the other day. Did they say that? Hold on. Let me look. Ohio. McKee was licensed as a medical doctor, but not in Ohio at the time of Tepe case. He was reported to be a vascular surgeon with active license in Illinois and California, and previously held a license in Nevada, expired in mid-2025. There is no indication that he held one of my doctor friends in Ohio looked all that stuff up for me, and he didn't. You seen the screenshot. What was it of? Oh, well, I think I know what it was. Sassy. Yeah, it talks about who he is and all that. Was his eyesight becoming dodgy and affecting his accuracy towards center? I know an 8-inch can be seen. I know. I don't know. What is it, Dina? Kidney? What did Tina say? I think the surgical assistant or surgical nurse job. It is. It absolutely is. Yes. I mean, that's a serious surgery. It was, they were saying that he didn't train her good enough or properly. I guess his focus was gone from regions. I don't know. But he was allegedly performing surgery Thursday, right after he allegedly unalived someone, 2 people, right? Oh, it was a catheter. You're right. It was a catheter.
Wife murdered in their own home. Why? Let's mind that Frank now has to be and the rest of the taxpayers are
Nancy looks good.
spending on this guy that now has to be extradited. Probably with how big of a fleet of security? What are they going to do? Give him first class service? Is he going to get a warm roll and a drink with that? Let's watch that one more time.
Third quarter, the defendant is present in custody.
Can you check for the record? Michael McKee.
Again from WBNS 10. Did you see that, Borghardt? Did you see that? He's perfectly sane. He knows exactly what's happening and not a flicker of emotion on his face. Not 1 ounce, not 1 drop, 1 scintilla of remorse.
Pesky Constitution, Nancy. He's presumed innocent. I guess he should
1
just
second,
roll in
guys.
and say, "You got me."
Just got something in here. I want to show you guys. We now have an exact day on whenever Michael McKee is supposed to be transferred. And it is the extradition of Michael McKee right there, 1/13/26 today. And whereas the court has been informed that the transportation of Michael T. McKee to Franklin County, Ohio, will not be feasible by Monday, January 19th. It is hereby ordered as follows. The court date previously set for Monday, January 19th, 2026 at 2 p.m. in courtroom B is stricken. The matter is set for Friday, January 23rd, 2026 at 2 p.m. in courtroom B of the Criminal Justice Center for status of transport. This date will be stricken if Mr. McKee is no longer in custody of the Winnebago County Sheriff's Office. Wow. So he's not going to be there. I don't know why it's not feasible. Today's what, the 13th? The 19th was Monday, is next Monday here. And so the 23rd will be Friday. Not this coming Friday, next Friday. Yeah. Our mod here, Miss Grace, she worked in the courts for 30 years. She knows how. When's Martin Luther King? When is Martin Luther King? When is Martin? 2026. January 19th. Yep, that's MLK. That's MLK Day. Yep, 19th is a holiday. That's why. That'll be why. Yep. I bet you anything that's why. Okay. Hold on 1 second. One second. What? Here, they're called he's still in jail, whatever happens. Yeah, he's not going anywhere. Another, you know how I said Sherwood didn't make a comment about you? He just did the other day to a message I sent on Facebook, and he replied crying, "You and AB are the worst." I'm finally honored. Ohio will get him pretty quick. Ohio don't mess around. They don't mess around at all. So okay. Let me get back to this. So it's not going to be Monday. It's going to be I guess the hearing's going to be next Friday, not this Friday, next Friday. That would be the 23rd. Yeah, and they're going to transport him in the night, I would say.
Let me save you a bunch of time.
Okay.
No,
Did I ask you that? That's what we call under the law, in case you've tried a case, unresponsive to the question. Not 1 ounce of remorse. He has simmered for 10 years. Then he goes online and he sees his wife's wedding video and he can't stand it. He walks into that courtroom, stone-faced, no remorse. Did you see his mugshot? Not one.
And I agree with Nancy on that 100%. What that wedding video, I think, sent him over the top.
Ounce. That's what that mugshot looks like to me, Borghardt.
You know what is funny? Let me tell you what's funny. If he looked remorseful, then what I would be listening to is, oh, he's just putting on a show. He can't win either way, which is why he's presumed innocent and he can remain silent and you can draw whatever conclusions you want. But if he was boo-hooing up in there, then
this guy, Not him. The guy talking as a defense
I would be
attorney.
listening to, he's just putting on a show. That's why we don't hold it against him for not showing remorse.
Franz Borghardt, veteran criminal defense attorney, joining us out of Baton Rouge, founder of the Borghardt Law Firm, former prosecutor, and professor at LSU. Franz, what you just did twice in a row, 3 times you're out, warning. You avoided my question. You were unresponsive. That's actually a legal objection in court, and the judge would direct you to answer my question. The first time I asked you the question, you tuned up. I thought I was at the Atlanta Symphony Orchestra. You tuned up about the presumption of innocence. Anybody watching this program right now knows about the presumption of innocence. Everyone in our country is presumed innocent under the law. And the rest of that sentence, which you always leave out, is unless and until the state produces evidence to meet and pierce that presumption. That's the rest of that, okay? You're not presumed innocent after the state has proven you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt, which is not to a mathematical certainty.
Nancy is very, very nice behind the scenes, by the way. She's very, very nice. She's not. She's just, playing it up.
She said just 2 and 2 equals 4.
She's passionate.
Is to beyond a reasonable doubt. Yeah, you better drink hale and hearty, Borghardt, because it's just starting. Straight out to Dave Mack joining us, Crime Stories investigative reporter. What is he doing in court, and where is he?
Michael McKee is in the 17th Judicial Court in Winnebago County, Illinois, because he's facing murder charges involving his ex-wife and her husband.
So let me understand correctly, Dave Mack. He's in Illinois.
He looks like a different person here. He looks like a different person here. Like he's fit here. I mean, he might have been on steroids for years. I don't know. I mean, might not have as well, but he definitely looks like he's got the roid shoulders for sure.
Wife and her husband.
So let me understand correctly, Dave Mack. He's in Illinois, and he's got to go back to Ohio to answer up on double murder charges. That's a yes, no.
Yes, correct.
So Irv Brandt joining me, former Senior Inspector, U.S. Marshal Service, International Investigations Branch, Chief Inspector, DOJ, Office of International Affairs, an attaché for the U.S. government. He has worked in embassies around the world. He's author of a new book in his Jack Solo series, Riding Solo, Remember the Alamo. I can only imagine. Irv Brandt, critical. What Dave Mack just reported is that this guy, the starter husband, is in court in Illinois. But the murders for which he is accused in Ohio. Wow. Irv, how do you think he ended up in Illinois?
Well, Nancy,
I agree, Lafferty.
My understanding is that's where he lives. And he was arrested in Illinois. And so he made his court appearance in Illinois and will be extradited under the Interstate Compact Agreement between Illinois and Ohio.
Irv Brandt, everything you just said is correct. But my point is, if he committed those murders in Ohio, he hauled booty about 300 miles to get as far away from those 2 dead bodies as he could. That's why he's back in Illinois.
No, it was over 500 miles, I think, wasn't it? I think it was 500 miles. Hold on. Let me check. I'll check 1 second.
That's why he is in the Winnebago court right now, not in the Ohio court, because he fled. He fled, which is going to lead to an extradition process. And speaking of him being in court, let's go back into court and take another look at him.
Have you had a chance to speak with him?
Yes, Your Honor.
What's your position at this time?
Yes, at this time, Your Honor, on behalf of Mr. McKee, I will assert his right to counsel. I will assert his right to remain silent.
Holy crap.
And
Guys, it was longer than I thought even. Look at this. Check this out. Wow. Columbus, Ohio to Rockford, Illinois. The closest is 6 hours and 54 minutes. 444 miles. If you take I-70 west to I-74, it's 7 hours, 26 minutes, 482 miles. That's a long way. Okay. So, he did not sleep that night. Did not sleep that night. Hold on a second. Okay. If he, what time did the murders happen? 3. Yeah, he's in Rockford, Illinois. If he, what time did the murders happen? 3, what time was it? I can't remember. We'll just say 3:30, 4:30, 5:30, 6:30, 7:30, 8:30, 9:30. Okay. 3:52. Okay, we'll say 4 o'clock. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So he could not have gotten home. And that's driving straight, not a fucking stop one. He could not have been home before 11 a.m. And if he performed surgery, he would have had to have done it that evening. Oh, I'm sorry, left day. She must not have done surgery that day after. That's what I was thinking, cheapskates. Like, unless he did it of the evening time. Yeah, it's 1,000 miles round trip. I mean, driving, I mean, that is a minimum, right, of 14 hours of driving. Minimum. That's crazy. Right? You're going to go to Columbus, Springfield, Indianapolis, Lafayette, Chicago, and then Rockford. But you probably took 70 and 80, or 70 west and I-65 north. But look, that route has tolls. That route has tolls if you take that way. And you know what that means? Anywhere you have tolls, there are cameras there as well. So he would be stupid. Now, if he went this way, right? If he went this way, it's a half an hour more. But if you went this way, it's a half an hour more, but there is no tolls. Right? Again, you're going to go through Springfield. You're going to go through Indianapolis. Then you're going to go through Champlain, Bloomington, and then up to Rockford. This is 30 minutes more, but it doesn't have tolls. It's 7.5 hours versus 6 hours and 54 minutes, 30 more minutes. Yeah. That's interesting. His condo building must have cameras that wouldn't see him, that would have seen him leave and return. Absolutely. I'd be exhausted. Well, yeah, but look at Ashley Buzzard. She did even more than that. She did over like 1,900 miles. She did that in basically 2 days. In Egypt, they have cameras all. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of cameras here. I mean, especially you're going through major areas, right? You're going through Indianapolis. You're going through, if you go through the quickest way, the place that has tolls, you're going through Chicago. Maybe he likes Coca-Cola, perhaps. But steroids will keep you up too. Yep.
Mr. McKee believes
That's
that the
great.
most expeditious manner in which he may defend himself against the charges pending in Ohio and to plead not guilty would be to waive his right to an extradition hearing and to have a governor's warrant and to agree to his immediate transportation to Ohio.
Understood. Thank you.
My friend
70.
said
If he took 70, someone said sounds like he took 70. If he took 70, I mean, it's still major, but you're not probably going to be seen as much.
SYX ABC6. So, Dr. Bethany Marshall, you have studied this over and over. Dr. Bethany Marshall, renowned psychoanalyst, joining us out of LA, author of Deal Breaker. You can see her now on Peacock, and you can find her online at drbethanymarshall.com. Bethany, he certainly has his wits about him. You know how much a vascular surgeon pulls down? Between 500,000 a year and $1 million or more a year. This guy is licensed to practice in multiple jurisdictions where he can practice medicine. Look at that face. I mean, Borghardt gave me a song and dance about why no remorse. He gunned her down, according to police, in cold blood with her children, her babies, in the next room. They're all on one floor of that 3-story townhouse. They were screaming their heads off, wailing by their parents' dead bodies when friends and coworkers finally got there after begging 911 for help that didn't come. I mean, nothing. If you don't feel bad about shooting your wife, that's bad enough. But what about her children that you just orphaned?
I still don't know what kind of vehicle he has or anything, but unless he put gas cans in his car or his vehicle, he had to stop for gas. Right? He had to stop for gas.
Get one sad little tear. Can you squeeze out something for me?
Nancy, you're right. His affect, his stony-faced demeanor suggests to me, as you said earlier, he has no remorse, but also he remains angry at her. That is an angry, angry face. And so I thought, what is behind that affect? I see a man who's been watching the wedding videos, seeing the two of them, walking down the sidewalk in front of their house with a glass of champagne in Spencer's hand. I don't know if you saw that video. I see a guy who maybe lives in an apartment and sees that this couple is living in a beautiful home with friends and with people around them. I see a man who may have been stalking her, surveilling her, hitting her up, trying to reestablish a relationship with her. This is just a guess. This is just a theory. Depending on what's going on in his life, has he had a recent demotion? Has somebody...
if he had a Tesla, he would have... Tesla will tell you everything. I mean, it's basically... software on wheels is all it is. It'll tell you where you charged, how long you charged, how many watts or kilowatts you used, all of that. But he would have had to have charged at least twice to depends on how cold it was, and it was supposedly cold. When it's colder, you don't get as many miles. So he would probably have to charge more.
Broken up with him? Has he had a loss of finances? Did he lose his medical license? We don't even know if his medical license is still intact. So a risk predictor for violence is often when somebody feels that they are in a one down position from the people around them, that everybody else is having a better life than them. So you see him walking into court and looking so hardened. This guy is angry. And I would guess this guy, we're going to find out, is what we call an insult collector, that every little thing that makes him feel diminished, he latches onto and uses that as a motivation for violence.
Dr. Bethany Marshall, I had to make a note of what you just said. I'm totally stealing that. An insult collector. That last video we showed to you of McKee in court is from our friends at WBNS 10, the courtroom packed with journalists, reporters, legal eagles like yourselves watching this guy for any sign of emotion to find out if he was going to say anything. An insult collector. But Dr. Bethany Marshall, think about it. A starter marriage that lasted just 7 months and they were living apart, where he demanded that she pay him for the engagement ring and then tried to charge her, did charge her 23% interest on a $1,200 debt.
That's cruel.
I think I know why she left him. But that said, that was 10 years ago, Dr. Bethany. 10 years. He's been bubbling and brewing and simmering. I can just see it's like a witch over a cauldron, stirring all that hatred. Hatred over what? She left him?
You know, Nancy, it suggests a disorder like stalking. Again, I haven't examined this guy, but stalkers, they imagine that they have a very special, unique, close, intimate relationship with the victim, even when there is no relationship.
What are you talking about? Did I miss something? What did Nancy say? I mean, he could have, stayed the night Wednesday in Columbus. We'll just have to see.
At all. Like, think about somebody like watching Madonna in concert, and just because they saw her on the stage, now they think that they're in love with each other, and then they start going after Madonna to get more information and find out more, and then they become angry and enraged because Madonna's not getting back to them. That would be the kind of scenario I'm guessing we will find. The engagement ring, the interesting thing about narcissism, for anybody who is married to or in a relationship with somebody who's narcissistic, they always feel that they're giving more than they really are. They'll just, maybe they'll pick up a McDonald's hamburger on a date, and then they think they gave their date the world. So this idea that she has to pay him back for the ring, he thinks he gave her so much.
He used his own car.
In reality, he probably gave her very little.
His own vehicle.
Every time I listen to you, Bethany, I feel like I'm drinking from the fire hydrant. It's just so much at once. I have to dissect it and try to make sense of everything that you're saying. It's very insightful. Insult collector. Guys, the hearing isn't over. Let's go back.
We will set this matter then for 2 o'clock on Monday for status on the transfer.
Thank you.
Anything else we can do today?
From WIFR, well, let's finish it off. Play the rest.
Thanks, everyone.
That from WSYX ABC 6, also in the courtroom. The reason I wanted you to see every single movement of the defendant is for you to determine if there's any truth to the fact. What if he claims insanity? What if he looks at the evidence and goes, okay, they got me red-handed. Now where do I go? I'm not going to plead guilty to 2 life without paroles, much less the death penalty. Where can I go? Ooh, mental defect. You have to watch his every move, see if he says anything. From what I could see, to Dave Mack joining us from Crime Stories, who watched every move along with me when it happened, Dave Mack, he walked in fully contained, clearly understanding what was happening. He walked straight to the podium. He knew where to go. Nobody had to lead him. He was not in a spit mask. He wasn't gagged. No one thought he was going to have a crazy outburst or attack anyone. He stood at the podium very calmly, collected. He addressed the court. He obviously knew who his lawyer was. He bent down to listen to what she said and nodded in the affirmative. He stood there patiently waiting until the proceedings ended. And when either the bailiff or the judge said, "Thank you," he turned and walked out. He knew where to go. All of these details may seem insignificant.
We don't know what kind of car it was. Someone was just saying if he took a Tesla or something, he'd have to charge. Yeah, but I have no idea what kind of vehicle he has. It hasn't been released
Significant.
yet.
But when you are
that I'm
trying
aware
to
of,
prove
anyways.
someone is not insane, they become highly significant. What did you observe, Dave Mack?
Looked to me as he was brought into the courtroom wearing that yellow jumpsuit. His hands are in front of him and they are handcuffed, but it's like he's not focused on anything but it's like he's going to speak to a Rotary Club for lunch. It didn't seem like he was appearing in court. It seemed like everybody was there to listen to whatever was going on in his world in that moment, instead of him being accused of this heinous crime.
Well,
he looked like
you got to remember what one of his doctor friends who said he knows him just as well as anybody, that he does not show emotion. He is not an emotional person. It's hard to get even a laugh, any sort of emotion out of him.
he was like he expected to be there and that everything was just the way he wanted it to be. That's what it looked like to me.
Of course, we are not mental health professionals, and Franz Borghardt would have a field day arguing that we're pretending to be. That last segment, that last sound was from WBNS, our friends over at 10. But Franz, let me just go ahead and defeat your argument. Let me just shoot it down before you state it. I'm not pretending to be a mental health specialist. I'm stating what I see, just like a jury will see it. Okay? Not everybody can be Dr. Bethany Marshall. This is from a juror's eyes. You watch him walk in, he's totally in control of his faculties. He responds, he nods, he knows what's going on. He looks smarter than everybody else in the courtroom put together, and he may very well be. So I know what you're going to say, and I think I've already shot it down, but please go ahead.
Well, first of all, we both know this won't be admissible to a jury because candidly, it doesn't go toward.
I mean, that's when he was younger. He smiled and stuff with that. It was like a public thing where there was, oh, it's Michael's birthday, he was smiling.
Whether or
there,
not he
but
was unable to distinguish between
years
right
ago,
and
when they
wrong
were
at the time of the murder.
kids.
This is not the time of the murder. This is a court proceeding for extradition. This is not admissible. And all this extrapolation about how cold-blooded he is during court, I don't see a judge ever letting any of that in. It's not coming in.
Okay, Franz, I'm sorry. I must have skipped ahead and I forgot to drag you along behind me. I thought you understood where I was going. He's going to have to walk into a courtroom with a jury watching him. They will be watching him then as we are watching him now. So it doesn't matter if you're not Dr. Bethany Marshall. It matters if you can see and comprehend, to understand what you're seeing and the significance of his nuanced behavior. And when you say He didn't know right from wrong at the time of the incident. Whoa, hold on, Nellie. Let's take a look at the video taken behind the victim's home, a private alley used only by the residences. Because we see, oops, guess who? Walking by. For all I know, that hoodie's got blood spatter on it. High velocity blood mist. Oh, and look, he knows.
Oh, and you know something? I just thought of that. He's wearing a black jacket. Black, you're not going to see blood, right? But I'm wondering about those pants. Where the hell are those shoes, those pants, the shirt, and the jacket? Where are those? I hope they got them.
So I can't tell what color he is. And you said he didn't know right from wrong at the time of the incident? Yes, no. Franz Borghardt, former prosecutor, now defense attorney. Isn't it true the judge will instruct a jury that they can take into consideration behavior before, during, and after the incident? Isn't that true?
Assuming that that individual in the video is in fact the defendant, sure.
And isn't it true that the prosecution, while it may not be charged by the judge in jury instructions, the prosecution can argue that flight is indicia of guilt? Isn't that true?
If going a couple of states over is going to Egypt and fleeing, then sure.
Oh, tiny correction.
Yep.
Tiny correction.
How you act before, during, and after the commission of a crime can all be taken into account of guilt, right? It's called behavioral evidence. And how you behave can be part of that evidence. If you ran, right, after a crime, if you are hiding after a crime, it can all be taken into account.
Dave Mack, wouldn't he have to take the Ohio Turnpike for over 300 miles to get away from that crime scene and end up in Winnebago?
Yeah, he'd have to go about 324 miles from Columbus, Ohio to Illinois. So, yeah, he was traveling quite a good distance. You're talking 6 hours on the road, Nancy. It's not just across town. We're talking a pre-planned event of driving a long way.
Hi guys, Nancy Grace here. If you are a homeowner, this is the time to call American Financing and wipe out your debt. Set yourself up for a strong 2026 financial. People are even free now with over 10,000 death scenes to his credit. Joe Scott Morgan, you have analyzed what we know so far. What jumps out at you?
I think the thing that jumps out.
We were live the other day, Passion Flower, when you did the dual stream, and it may or may not be a bird on there. I don't know. We'll have to see. You know, he was just looking. There's something definitely on his coat, though. Was splatter under UV light if it's on his jacket. Yeah. It just depends how close he was and all that.
To me, and first off, look, I mean,
you know, and also, which there probably isn't, but is there any defensive wounds, right? There usually isn't with the GUN. But was there any defensive wounds on the victims?
I'm glad that y'all are pleased he's in Illinois. I'm glad he's in custody at this point in time. I ain't interested in that. You know what I'm interested in, Nancy? I'm interested in what was left behind in Ohio at this crime scene in Columbus, where this family's life was completely wrecked, where these people were butchered. And I got to tell you, Nancy, there's something that has been I've been noodling with. They keep talking about multiple gunshots that were fired here. We know, at least at this point in time, that there are 3 spent casings. Those are the brass shell casings that are left after
You
the
can tell they
weapon is
were.
fired. These are locked.
You can tell that they were so in love because you can just tell they're so in love. They're just happy.
Lying about the room. We don't know precisely where they were. But let me tell you a little something. This ain't 10 years ago. All right. Now we have methodology.
Who's talking is Joseph Scott Morgan. He has a podcast called Body Bags.
Like the Bordeaux method, where we can actually take a spent casing like this, okay? And now we have the ability to collect almost 22 to 25% more DNA off of a fired round now, all right? They've begun to be able to isolate it. All along the edges here, these irregular edges, we're not necessarily talking about the shaft right here, but these irregular edges, you'd be surprised what we can extract. So no matter how careful he was, if he was handling this ammunition, which I assume that he would have been, in order to load this weapon, the magazine, there is a high probability that this can be extracted, not to mention new technology that we have that can lift latent prints. You know, in the past, heat would destroy these things. There's a whole new world that's opened up. So I don't care how bright he is, how many degrees he has. I don't care how long he's been working as a vascular surgeon. There's always a way to catch him.
Just Scott, let me follow up with a few things that you just said. But first, I want to talk to you about blood evidence. The difference between high velocity blood mist. We know a 9mm was used in at least 3 gunshots fired, I believe, while they were in bed. Or maybe they were trying to get out of bed when they realized he was standing over them. It's my wild guess right now.
I was thinking about that. He might have wore gloves when he was loading the pew-pews. He's a surgeon, or maybe not. Did he wear gloves? Did he double glove? That's what you really have to do, is double glove if you're
one of the friends that came in said he's half off the bed, something to that effect. Okay, so you've got high velocity, but maybe they were trying to get out of bed when they realized he was standing over them. It's my wild guess right now. One of the friends that came in said he's half off the bed, something to that effect. Okay, so you've got high velocity but blood mist versus blood spatter, not splatter, but spatter,
listen to this.
versus blood drops, such as what we saw in the Jodi Arias murder of her lover, Travis Alexander. As he stood in front of the bathroom mirror, we see blood dropping from his nose and face where he's dying. And we can tell because it's a drop as opposed to a drop with a tail. How do you compare that in placing him?
Yeah, she did. He didn't say that he was halfway off the bed. He said he's off the bed in the floor.
At the scene,
I think she
at
was
the
in the
time the shots were fired.
Okay,
Mist,
let me tell you this.
Spatter, drop.
Yeah. Okay, with mist, let me give everybody a hint at home, and you can do this on your own. Get a can of aerosol hairspray. Go to your mirror and just pump it one time onto the surface of that mirror. That'll give you an example of what we're talking about relative to high velocity deposition. It does become a mist, all right, and just kind of floats about, and the droplets are very, very tiny. And that's because you have a round that is going supersonic, right? Going above the speed of sound, and it's slamming into a target. And when it does, it creates this histamine-like mist. Now, if you've got this kind of passive dripping that we see with not really passive dripping, that's another category. But if we have like medium velocity, that's going to be more like a strike with a hammer, okay? If you've got low velocity, that can actually be a bloody nose where somebody is dripping like this. And here's the thing I'm thinking. If he is in the dark, he knows where the bed is, Nancy. If he approached them, let's just say he's kind of standing over them as he has fired this weapon. Remember, supersonic, right? He fires this weapon into their body. There can actually be a deposition that could come back on him.
Yes, good point. Good point. Nancy says, I don't know if they find a clothes because the neighbor said they were there for 2 days taking bags of clothes. I wonder if he dumped them. Probably. He could have stopped in the middle of nowhere and just thrown out the clothes in a river or along a field somewhere. You just never, ever, ever know. You know what I mean? So there's that. Oh, thank you, Rachel. Thank you, baby. That's very sweet of you. Thank you so much for your support, my love. Very, very kind of you.
I can smell a legend.
I can smell a legend. Thank you so much, Rachel. Appreciate your support, my dear. Very, very, very much. Thank you, love. Justin, weren't they in separate rooms? I've heard that, but it's not, don't know yet. Still don't know yet. You know what I mean? What a vibe. What a vibe. Still don't know where the bodies were. Yep. We'll find out though.
You know that hoodie that we're seeing him walk back and forth with up and down that alley?
Yes,
I
Rachel.
hope that thing has not been incinerated. I hope that he has not gotten rid of it, because if they went to his
Me too.
domicile and they recovered this thing, there's no telling. This thing's going to light up. It will light up when they apply fluorescent light to it, when they begin to, or black light to it. They'll be able to appreciate it perhaps with luminol. You never know, but there could be deposition on there as far as the blood of the victims. We don't have any indication that there was kind of like personal contact between him and them. We don't know about any injuries on him, but what I'm interested in from a forensic standpoint, it's hard for a defense attorney to explain away
Like what, Jerry?
deposition of blood of the victims onto the alleged perpetrator.
And very often, Joe Scott, isn't it true that perps don't think about their shoes? But if
No,
the
they don't.
shoes that are worn at the time of the shootings, they can have blood on them as well, even up in the shoelaces or in the Velcro. Now, another thing, a lot of times crime scene investigators,
Your shoes will tell on you quicker than anything in that. Like, that'd be one of the first things I'd be worried about is my damn shoes. Like, throw those things away.
don't think to look up. But when you see the blood on the ceiling, that tells you exactly where the shooting took place down to the inch. Explain.
Yeah, it really can. One of my mentors, Dr. Noguchi, famously said he always looks up at a crime scene when he walks in, as opposed to looking at the bodies, because you take in the totality of the environment.
Well, we kind of thought that we didn't know that the neighbor had let him in the house, and then we figured out the neighbor let him in the house, and they were found upstairs. We thought that they might have been looking, because we were confused on where, like, how he was seeing Dr. Spencer Tepe, because looking, we thought he was like looking in a window or something like that. But they were definitely
Bodies are found in. What's really interesting about this case, Nancy, is that you had mentioned that they're on a bed. You know what's going to be key here is I worked countless cases where we have blood deposition on headboards, and people don't think about headboards, particularly if headboards are dark. I'll be interested to see what they have collected at the scene for the purposes of testing. So let's just say that there is a headboard.
Yeah, they're going to serve him now, Mr.
They're
Protus.
in a normal anatomical.
Yeah, they couldn't get his address. He was given wrong addresses and wrong phone numbers and all that. Then they tracked him down to Rockford, Illinois, but he wasn't answering his phone. So he's going to get his malpractice while he's going to be served while he's in jail for that.
Position in the bed where they're lying, I don't know, supine.
Which will be other trials that he will have to go to, unrelated to the Tepe.
And maybe they're prone. I have no idea. And they're shot in the bed. Well, that blood can be literally deposited on the headboard. I've worked cases where we've taken the entire bed out, but specifically taken the headboard out of people that were actually murdered in their sleep, and it will tell a tale there, even if it's the tiniest bit of blood, okay? And how that presents, we can begin to think about the
I agree,
trajectory
Bet.
of the
I
blood
agree.
deposition from point. You see us at scenes where we will pull these kind of trajectory rods. We don't just merely do that with fired rounds. We also do that with the deposition of blood as it's thrown into the air and lands on a surface, and we can kind of calculate that. It's interesting. It's interesting that he is partially off the bed, Nancy. My big question is, did he have an awareness this guy was coming into the room, or did he move after he was shot?
I don't think he moved after he was shot. I mean, he could have, but most people don't move after they're shot. They don't. They
Hi,
can.
guys. Nancy Grace here.
Yeah.
Please join us on Crime Stories and stream it.
All right, y'all. Well, make sure you go over to Mrs. Grace's channel, Nancy G's, and watch that as it just dropped just a little bit ago. Link is right there in the chat right there. And I will put that in the description as well. Very, very good show that she did there with a lot more interesting information. Thank you so much, Amy Beth. Appreciate you guys. Thank you. Thank you all. We're going to keep following it. You can bet your stars we're going to keep following this and a lot more. Yeah. So sorry I wasn't here yesterday. Pearl did a number on my charger. So thank you all so much. I do appreciate you. God bless each and every single one of you. Life is short. Hold the ones you close very dear. You only get so many trips around the sun, right? Why can't I hype you? I don't know. Can you hype me? You can't hype me after the live? I don't know. I'll try. I don't know. I'll look at it. You can't hype during the live. I think you can after the live. Justin, have you seen the stuff that was allegedly released about Sebastian Rogers' search? I've a little bit on that. I'm going to look more into it. I need to see where it came from and all that. It depends on who it comes from as well. Who did it come from? Do we know? I have tried to after the lab. I did hear some things about it, but I was just trying to see. Oh, if it came from Mob, then I trust it. Mad, she was. There was a test. Oh. If it came from him, Seashell, hell no. Hell no. I wouldn't trust it. What's that, Rachel? Can you ask what? I didn't see your first question, maybe. Thank you, Magic. You just got to sub and make sure you hit the bell. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Yeah, trust me, I still keep very much active on Sebastian's case. Always doing things, searching, looking, and stuff like that. But there's it's a case where, God, I pray to God it is solved. Do you remember creators making a replay? I don't. It's gotten, Sebastian's case has, a lot of creators, in my opinion's really gotten in the weeds of conspiracies and stuff. And really, the only people I watch on Sebastian's case is Mob, Chris McDonough, if he does it, and Josh. That's it. That's really it. Or Smiley. Like, that's it. Because it's so many people's in the weeds there. Or Mr. and Mrs. E. Of the Tepe case. Of course, Big DD, but he does analysis. Silver. I haven't seen Silver in ages. But that's really about it. She's fast. She kicks my ass. She does. She kicks my ass. Thank you, Amy. Any updates on Nova Scotia? A lot of drama. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no. Yeah. Silver, Mob, and I, we are always pretty much on the same page with this. We've always kind of been on the same page with this. I mean, clearly, in my opinion, the mother and the stepfather knows exactly what happened, in my opinion, to Sebastian. They don't seem to be giving a damn about finding him. And it's really sad. They want to just, in my opinion, to move on as fast as possible. And again, there's things that I know that I just can't say in this case. There's things that I know that I can't say that if I did say it, they would know exactly where I got it from, you know. But I can't imagine living the way Sebastian had to live. Can't imagine. Yep, Karen. Yep. I can't imagine moving to another state where my child is missing. I can't imagine putting out food outside right after my kid went missing and going out of town. Yeah, it's on Justin for All. And not doing it because Sebastian might come out on the porch, but doing it for a look. It's fucking ridiculous. Yeah, like a lost bet. Yeah, it's my other channel, Amy. Just go to the search bar and type in this. It's my other channel. I've heard that. You know, they belong together. Those two, they belong together. That's all it was, Deborah. That's all it was. I think God sees and knows all. God sees and knows all. And hold on, what's this? Oh wow. Okay. Gotcha. And some people have gotten away with a lot, in my opinion, for years. I agree, Nerdy. I agree. I don't think they knew how to deal. I don't think they took the time to know how to deal with Sebastian. It takes a special parent to raise any child. It takes a really special parent to raise a difficult child or a child with special needs. Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you all. God bless you all. Get some rest, everyone. Good night and God bless.